Alrighty, now we have gone to the venerable GS platform, the F800GS. My first ride, probably my last ride. Maybe one of the last rides on it, who knows, because the F800 is done for after this. So, this is just classic motorcycling. We have a clutch that is operated by a cable with no hydro assist. We have no shift assisting. We have simple to use ergonomics, and that we have the heated hand grips, the mode button, which is rain and road only. We then have the start and stop. We have the brights, the hazards, the info for the screen that gets you like your temperatures, your current miles per gallon, everything like that. ABS turn off, all this sorts of fun stuff over here on the left. And we are good to go. Very classic riding position for the old GS when it comes to like adventure riding. Pretty much straight up and down. Your feet are actually below your shoulders. Knees are out. And there's a lot of heat because this thing's been rode all day long too, since from 9 to 5. This is now the last ride around 5 o'clock. There's a lot of heat coming out of my feet right now. Oof. I do have to say, for a cable operated clutch, this bad boy is way out there. Way out there. See, there's your friction zone right there. So it's way, way, way out there. And it's a very buzzy engine. Doesn't have a whole ton of horsepower or torque. But that's not supposed to really have a whole ton of horsepower. You do want a little bit more torque on these adventure bikes, but you don't want too much either. You don't want to just sit there and bury your wheel in the sand and then get stuck forever, right? Now, this is the quintessential bike that everybody knows BMW for, is the GS series. My gosh, this thing just absorbs bumps. Going over all these potholes and junk, it just effortlessly goes over them. Look at this. Intentionally run them out down and nothing. You can see where this will be a good off-road bike for sure. Once again, third gear, 50, about 5,000 RPMs. We'll get up to 6, there we go. 50 miles an hour to 55, sixth gear, about 3,200 to 3,500. Real easy motorcycle to ride, as you can tell. Get a lot of weird buffet off of that screen. At least I am. It's like catching me under my chin. It's like, it feels weird. I do like how these are legit hand guards on this thing. It actually has the bar going around too. That's legit. Like I said, I do like the fact that it is a cable operated clutch too. Not fancy, just straightforward motorcycling. Like I said, through the info screen you get current outdoor temperature 87.8. Looks like a range, fuel mileage, engine temperature, back to the other temp there, outer temp. Now this particular motorcycle definitely is on the lazier side. I was told you know, by the guy that's doing this. It's like, so you're going from the R9T to the F800. You should do the 1200 because we're getting rid of the F800. And I told him I wanted to try the 800. I've had my fun of the day, and I wanted to take a bike that I would do every day. That one that I don't get in as much trouble with, because, you know, I have a tendency to get into some trouble. But this thing's fueling is pretty spot on. I mean, you kind of hit the throttle. I mean, it's so quick to react. It's smooth throughout its rev range. You don't feel anything hiccuping. You don't feel anything that's that's an issue. It's just nice takeoff. I mean, this is one of those bikes that's very middle of the road. Very middle of the road. Like I said, though, this thing does very well on the bumps. I mean, it's just this is a bike that you just everyday ride. It's just so comfortable. So easy to handle, so easy to deal with. Great visibility out of the mirrors. I do have to say that under braking, this bike does feel a little bit lazy. Not too bad, but they just don't have that great grab. Of course, that might be here we go. There. What does that mean? Cycle. I have no idea what that means. Maybe that means ABS is off, but I don't know. Engine braking's all right though. Engine braking is definitely all right. Back through these horrible holes here. Like I said, this thing just takes it like a champ. Like a champ. This has got to be for the adventure bikes that I've rode in the past, such as the Tiger, the Tenere, and some of these others I've rode. This is by far the best suspension that I've rode on. Soft yet firm, yet subtle, yet or supple, or however you want to say it, but just lovely all these time. It's just why. Now this engine is a very buzzy motor. At 6,000 RPMs, you just feel it everywhere throughout the chassis. Feet, hands, legs, knees, shoulders, everywhere. It goes through everything. If we're over 5,000, actually it goes through everything over 4,000. Back that off a little bit. Yeah, that little windscreen is nothing. I mean, it's there for nothing.
keep trees off your chest, I guess. I mean, it is not doing anything for me. It doesn't even feel like it's doing anything in the middle except causing turbulence. And I'm wearing a full mesh jacket and I feel wind passing through it just as if I don't have a screen. Just wow, nothing there. I do gotta admit, the layout is perfect. I mean, you just got a tachometer, your speedometer there, and everything is right there. Very easy to get to. Got a couple of toggles there that you can toggle some things for the display as well. Resets and stuff. Transmission though is spot on. Absolute spot on transmission. And I love the way the clutch feels. Even though it is further out there, it's still, the friction zone is responsive enough. The way the clutch is and weighted and everything is perfect, and you can just time it perfectly for glass smooth shifting. And it handles so well, and I'm very surprised about the ride height because I can flat foot this motorcycle. So that's a great thing when you're on the trail, because to me, you need to have a little bit more confidence in your footing and everything, because you do use your feet to plant sometimes, and makes you feel a little bit better. At least in my riding, I like to be able to stab that foot to make a tighter turn and do some other things, because I'm not as good on the dirt as I am on the road, definitely, for sure. So this bike, for an off-road style adventure, you definitely would be able to get your feet down. If you need to slide it, have some fun with it. And it's light enough. I mean, it definitely does carry its weight very well. Very well weighted, doesn't feel all that exuberantly heavy. Like I said, it buzzes that crap out of you though. And I'm getting a lot of heat still in my lower legs from the engine. Definitely you can attack some corners aggressively. That's nice to know. Absolutely nice to know. Yeah, we got a lot of dirt right there. Like I said, you can just shift this thing very nicely. I mean, it is not one of those quick shifters. It's not anything slick, special, or anything. It's just good old classic motorcycle shifting, and it just works so good. I can see why the GS wins so many of those competitions, because it's a bike that is just so well rounded. I mean, it does outdo, to me, the Tenere, even though Tenere's got a bigger engine on it. Does feel very good in the corners. I mean, it's just a great motorcycle. Like I said, the brakes, though, I mean, you can see the dive in the front end. Like, I'm getting some good feedback, but they feel kind of mushy to me. They're not the greatest. Yeah, this thing cannot touch that or SR or S1000 XR. It's not even decently quick. But that's the thing. This bike, don't knock on it too much. It just does everything good, and that's the whole thing about it. It's a Swiss Army knife. It's a great road bike. It's a long-range tourer. It can do everything. From what you need to do. I mean, you can add panniers, you can add a back on it. It's comfortable. It has enough speed. It's not the fastest thing, but and the braking works good enough. So everything's good on it. I mean, everything's good, but not the greatest thing in the world. I bet that would have been much better. I should have stole that one. But would I recommend the GS800 if you find one for a good price and a good steel? Yeah, I definitely would. I mean, yeah, it doesn't have the cruise control. It doesn't have some of the other things that the other bikes have. It's a little bit more stripped down, but it's more pure motorcycle. And I tend to lean more toward the motorcycle being a purist style machine that doesn't have too many things that take the rider away from the wind and experience that a motorcycle brings. So, at any rate, this is the Rabid Hedgehog. This is the last ride of the 800GS, so however you want to call it. We'll catch you on the next review.